When we think of Christmas, we picture golden lights, warm embraces, and tables filled with food, a scene that feels comforting and familiar. But for most of human history, December was anything but comforting. It was the time of freezing cold, of darkness swallowing the days, of nights that seemed endless. Long before nativity scenes, markets, and holiday sweets, the winter solstice was a thin boundary, a fragile moment between fading light and returning night. There, in those icy nights, the Christmas we know today began. And when we explore every corner of Europe, we'll notice that the most unsettling stories are the ones closest to us. The Saturnalia. Before Christmas, before nativity scenes, before the story we think we know, there were the Saturnalia, the ancient festival that came long before our winter traditions. For a handful of days in December, the Roman Empire turned upside down. Slaves sat in the place of their masters, the masters served wine and food, and the laws were suspended. It was a world upside down, an explosion of freedom that could not have existed at any other moment of the year. Because the winter solstice marked the longest night, the peak of darkness, the exact point when the sun seemed to die. During the Saturnalia, many families left food for the ancestors, believing the dead could return and sit at the table to claim what belonged to them. And from this comes Christmas's taste for excess, for splendor, and for the brief suspension of rules. The Yule Tree. Long before it became the Christmas tree we know, the fir tree was a sacred symbol of Northern Europe. Standing in the snow, evergreen while everything else died, it was seen as a bridge between our world and the afterlife. During Yule, the great Germanic ritual of the winter solstice, trees were decorated, but not with lights and ribbons. They were adorned with offerings. Dried fruit, locks of wool, pieces of metal, and sometimes even drops of animal blood. Because Yule was not a peaceful celebration, it was a negotiation with the forces of winter. The spirits of frost, the dead wandering through the long night, the guardians of the forests. All were honored to prevent their hunger from falling upon the villages. The tree was the center of the ritual. A vertical axis connecting three worlds, the land of the living, the underground roots of the dead, and the sky where the gods traveled. From this comes the idea that the tree brings prosperity, guards gifts, and protects the home. And when Christianity arrived in Northern Europe, it didn't destroy this tradition. It transformed it. It made it bright, comforting, and familiar, a true symbol to cross the longest night of the year. The Krampus? Before the sweetness of St. Nicholas, there were his shadows, the Krampus, creatures between demon and beast with horns, chains, and bells. On the night of December 5th, they descended from the mountains to punish disobedient children, dragging them into the woods. Their purpose was clear: punishment. In the oldest tales, it carried a basket where it threw irreparable children to drag them into the winter forest, a brutal metaphor born in a world where winter forgave no one. Yet, despite the church's bans and attempts to eliminate it, Krampus survived. Today, during Krampusnacht, its hordes still parade through the Alpine streets. Hand-carved wooden masks, bells, fire, and smoke. A ritual that has never lost its primal power. Because the truth is simple, Christmas has never been only goodness. From the very beginning, it has been a balance between reward and punishment, between light and darkness. The wild hunt. Long before Christmas became a domestic celebration, winter was considered an open time, a period when the boundary between the human world and spirits thinned. And here one of the oldest and most unsettling legends of Northern Europe was born: the wild hunt. On the coldest nights, it was believed that an army of spirits rode across the sky, carried by wind, frost, and the roar of storms. At the head, Odin, the wandering god, the seeker of knowledge, but also lord of the fallen dead. Those who heard the thunder of hooves and screams in the night had two options: hide or be swept away. The hunt was an omen. It foretold misfortune, famine, sudden deaths. And to appease it, offerings were left outside the houses: grain, bread, warm drinks. From these customs, centuries later, family traditions arose like leaving milk and cookies for Santa Claus. Long ago, children offered hay and carrots to Sleipnir, Odin's horse, hoping for small gifts in return. From these ancient practices comes the concept of the gift bringer, traveling between sky and earth. The bonfires of souls. In southern Italy and in some regions of Spain, Christmas Eve was not just a celebration. It was an appointment with the dead. It was believed that the souls of the departed returned to visit their homes on the night of December 24. not to frighten but to warn themselves, eat something and check that the family was still together. To welcome them, bonfires were lit, and each flame was a beacon for the afterlife, signaling, "You are welcome here." Families left tables set even after dinner. An empty seat, a full glass, a piece of bread, silent offerings for those no longer present. And woe to anyone who extinguished the fire before dawn. The fire protected. The fire guided. The fire remembered. Grýla and the 13 Yule Lads. In Iceland, Christmas is not about reindeer and sweets, but about monsters. It all begins with Grýla, a gigantic creature, half troll and half witch. She lives in the mountains, hears everything, and especially smells disobedient children. Legend says that when December arrives, Grýla descends from the ice with her enormous sack. Not to bring gifts, but to take the misbehaving little ones and cook them in her cauldron. She has 13 children, the famous Yule Lads. Each has unique behaviors and traits. Indeed, these spirits can be mischievous, unsettling, unpredictable. Today, the Icelanders have turned them into gentler, almost comical figures, our beloved elves. Lwyd. In Wales, Christmas has an unusual guest, the Lwyd. Imagine a horse skull, whitened by winter, mounted on a long stick. White sheets like shrouds, bells jingling in the dark, and two glass eyes that seem to follow you everywhere. At night, this figure appears among the houses. Led by a group of singing people, the Lwyd approaches a door and knocks. But it is not a normal visit. It is a kind of battle of rhymes. Those inside must answer with improvised verses, jokes, challenges. If the family loses, the Lwyd enters the house, and it will not be a pleasant encounter. Behind this almost playful tradition lies something much older, a call to the rights of the dead and the spirit of the horse as guide to the afterlife, of spirits asking to be acknowledged. Perchta? In the heart of the Alps, as snow covers every trace and silence is almost sacred, there is a figure watching over the darkest time of the year, Perchta. She is not an evil creature, but she is not good either. She is an ancient goddess, tied to the spindle, spinning, women's work, and discipline, and above all, to maintaining order during the winter season. Legend says that Perchta passes through homes during the nights between years, when the world is suspended. If she finds the house in order, food prepared, spinning tasks completed, she leaves a gift, a blessing for the new year. But if she finds laziness, disorder, or someone who dared to eat more than allowed, Perchta tears open their belly. She removes the offender's organs and replaces them with straw and stones. A cruel warning, born in a world where winter forgave no one. She did not punish out of malice, but because those who did not respect her rules lacked the strength to survive winter. Perchta is the relentless guardian of balance. The dead who dance on Christmas night. In some valleys of Tyrol, there is a story as fascinating as it is unsettling. On the night of December 24th, when everyone sleeps and snow muffles every sound, the cemeteries transform. The bells, it is said, ring on their own. The chapel doors open, and the dead come out to dance. According to tradition, the spirits of the dead return for just one night, to reunite with the community they left behind. They gather among the tombs in silence and begin a slow, almost ritual dance. A dance that no living person should witness. It is a story born from an ancient idea. Christmas Eve is not only the birth of light, but also the most fragile point of the year, when the boundary between worlds thins. And so, while candles and lights shine inside the houses, outside, among the snow and crosses, Christmas night becomes a suspended moment, where the living pray and the dead dance. Badnjak. In Eastern Europe, especially in Serbia, Christmas Eve does not begin with colorful lights or sweets on the table, but with a log. A special log carefully chosen called the Badnjak. According to tradition, it must be cut at dawn on December 24. The first axe strike brings luck, the second protects the house, the third blesses the harvest. Then the log is brought inside, decorated with grain, wine, honey, as if it were an honored guest. But the true heart of the ritual is the fire. The Badnjak must burn in the fireplace for 3 full days without ever going out. Because if the flame dies too soon, it is said that misfortune, famine, or illness could knock at the door. The fire of the Badnjak is a sign, our family is alive, united, and remembers those who are no longer here. Even today in many villages, Christmas Eve is recognized by the crackling of these logs. an ancient sound blending protection, superstition, and hope. And so, behind lights, gifts, and panettone, we discover a Christmas very different from what we know. A Christmas made of ancient deities, hungry spirits, rituals to appease the frost, and creatures entering homes not to leave gifts, but to watch. Today we experience it with affection and nostalgia. But inside every decoration, every fire, every legend, there is still an ancient shadow watching us from afar. A reminder of when the world was darker and people needed stories to feel safe. If you enjoyed this journey through the dark traditions of Christmas, subscribe to the channel. It helps us immensely to grow this community and bring you new insights. And get ready, because soon a new video will arrive, dedicated to all Italian dark traditions, forgotten, unsettling, and fascinating stories, showing a Christmas you've never seen.